What it is, y'all, it's your old boy Pilk, and I kind of want to address this comment up top. Now, I have been very critical of this app as of late, and a number of people have been too. We've kind of all in 2025 just taken a step back and come to just a general consensus that things on this app need to change. Things need to get better with DanChro. It's the leading into the year and a half celebration. Things don't look great. Now, we did get a huge update. We just had big data download last night. In fact, as of recording this, it's about 9:30 p.m. We're probably about a half hour out of like a bunch of big updates to the game dropping. I haven't seen what's coming with the data mines. I haven't seen anything major on Twitter. So I don't 100% know specifically what's in the works. But I think it's kind of fair if we take a step back here and if we kind of address, I guess, the overall elephant in the room, and I don't mean Ganesha. So, yes, I have been pretty critical of the app, obviously. You know, there are things that I have not been enjoying about this. But overall, I must say, I firmly believe that we have done more, I guess, positive. We've had more positive motion in the game than we've honestly had negative, in my opinion. While I have been kind of negative about the game as of recent, there are things like, if we go to the gacha system here, it's not a perfect gacha system by any stretch of the imagination. But remember, it wasn't until the first anniversary that we had any of this at all, period. Like, this was not a thing. So prior to this, it was just you get what you get or you don't. And sometimes you get a paid gacha, but even then, rarely a paid gacha had anything guaranteed on it. So first of all, they've done leaps and bounds to improve the gacha system. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I will say it is a 100% improvement over what we had prior. Now, in fairness, it can get better. Things can improve still. I'm not here to deny that. But how do I word this? Okay, so I'm just going to go through my daily routine while we kind of hash this out. Because while, yes, there are things they can improve. Case in point, what I would love to make my life easier is one button here. DanChro, that would be just the greatest, or I guess aiming technically, that'd be the greatest like quality of life improvement you could do in my opinion. One button. Skip all of these. Man, save me. Full disclosure, maybe it's only minutes. It's not that big of a deal. In fact, we can kind of time it here. But, DanMemo did stuff like that before. And I know in the past I was kind of like, we can't compare the two apps. Now, a year and a half in, I think we can compare the apps. I think that is a fair assessment. They are two very different games, and that is fundamentally factual. And honestly, as we approach the second anniversary, it's kind of make it or break it time, if I'm totally honest. So what do I kind of mean by all this? Because I am just pretty much rambling at this point. The honest answer here is if I compare the state of DanMemo at a year and a half versus DanChro at a year and a half, DanMemo leaps and bounds was a better app. But if I'm fair, DanMemo got really good at the second anniversary. Like, prior to that, it was a game, and it was fun, very free-to-play friendly, and very enjoyable. The overall hardware of this, or say the hardware, the meat and potatoes of this game, still to me very enjoyable. I enjoy the game. Things that irk me are the gacha system. I don't like how overtly greedy the game seems to be nowadays. But as far as the stories go, and as far as all that is concerned, I still do quite enjoy this. In fact, I've been really bad about uploading the stories, kind of like I was with DanMemo. With DanMemo, I didn't upload the stories because I kind of felt weird about it. And it really wasn't until the very end that it struck me that we are going to lose all those stories if I don't get them uploaded. And there are other people uploading them too, but, most people had maybe done one or two uploads, and whereas, I uploaded. In fact, somebody commented on one of the the episodes, one of the later Sword Oratoria episodes, commenting on Line, and it had to be like, well, actually, in the DanMemo side of the story, Line never died. Like, if I recollect, and someone's going to correct me in the comments, I'm sure, if I recollect, I think Amori actually said he regretted killing her off, or something in nature that didn't think was necessary, or I don't remember the exact details of that whole situation, but I do remember distinctly that they that she in the DanMemo telling of that story did not have to die. So, you know, just very interesting stuff. And the one thing I loved about DanMemo, and the one thing that kept me going in DanMemo, was the fact that we had so many canonical stories, or stories that at least expounded upon the series canon, so to speak. And what I mean by that is whenever we had an anniversary, or every other anniversary, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, we would have a big multi-month-long event that eventually just became light novels. A lot of those were manuscripts. I think all of them, in fact, were manuscripts that were supposed to be light novels that never came to fruition, and instead they got turned into stories for DanMemo. And of course, now we know that, you know, like the Astray Record and things like that, those are all stories now that you can actually go out and buy. In fact, someone was asking me the other night, is book 3 out? I had to double check upstairs. Yeah, all 3 books are out. I hate to say I haven't read them. I haven't read them. We will soon. But I'm rereading the whole series in preparation for the series coming back here shortly. So we're going to be talking about that soon. Again, I am kind of rambling, and I'm trying to keep it more to the point and more concise, because I don't want to just go on for an hour. Because you guys, if those of you that have the live stream, know I will just go on. But the honest answer here is, guys, give the app a little bit of credit. They have, or say give aiming a little bit of credit. They have done some good things for the game. And honestly, I'm going to wait until second anniversary to really get super critical. Now, if I do drop negative content, it's not my, I guess, intent to chastise. It's more, I see problems that I want fixed, and I see things that could very easily be rectified to make the game more enjoyable to the average player. I understand they do have to have whales to fund the game. And as somebody points out in the live streams all the time, funding the game does also fund Amori, and that is 100% a thing. If we want more content, if we want more stories, if we want things like that, personally, I was thinking about it earlier today. I'd love to see a Wistoria game come out. Maybe wait until like season 2 or 3 of the anime, but I'd love to see that, because I am absolutely in love with that manga right now. I think it's just absolutely fantastic. So, in reality, I guess what I'm saying is don't give up yet. We're going to get a big update here soon. We'll see what that entails. That should come with some major stuff. Year and a half is going to be around here shortly. Second anniversary drops this summer. We have time, right? We had DanMemo for 7 years, 6 years in the United States, 7 years overall. And so there were ups and downs with that game. Like, we all remember that game with rose-tinted glasses, right? We all remember the best parts of that game. But in fairness, there were moments where the game did receive and deserve criticism. And I think early on when Crunchyroll was involved, classic Crunchyroll, not modern Crunchyroll, its own argument, back when that was a whole thing, I do think that they were very quick to fix, to rectify, and it was a different group and a different type of game and a whole different environment. Whereas aiming is very, it kind of reminds me of like Akatsuki, if you've played Dokkan Battle or things like that, where things happen for whole different reasons. But nevertheless, guys, give them a little credit. We have seen improvements. I'm not gonna, we've been gloom and doom, and I feel a little bad for that, but I also wanted to come back and say things have gotten better and things probably can get better. So let's not beat down aiming. Let's not beat up the app. Let's not give up on these guys. Let's aim to make this DanChro the best DanChro that we could possibly get. Don't give up striving for the best, but don't get so much tunnel vision that all you see is the negative, because there is some positive to be had here, and there is a way to fix this. The gacha system could get better. The way units are built could get better. There's in simple fixes like fixing some of the translations and things like that are really, really, really easy things that they could implement here really soon. So let's give them credit where credit's due. It is far from the worst or most predatory app out there. There are some game companies that I just won't do business with anymore, unfortunately. So once again, I'm still covering the game. If I didn't believe in the game, I would not be covering the game. We've dropped games before, and honestly, I did kind of enjoy some of those games, but at the end of the day, if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense, and I'm not going to encourage people. However, I love Omori. I love the story. I think the game's got a lot of potential, and year 2 could be a big stepping up point. Because think about what year 2 meant for DanMemo. So, stay tuned, guys. I have a feeling things will get better and things will improve, which is why I made that other content. Not to beat the game down, so we can bring the game up to where we want it to be. I'll see you guys again real soon for more DanChro. Remember, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, and all that good stuff. We got more content coming soon.